Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a review of a new show. Alright, so I got some requests for this show. But listen, if it ain't for us opinionators, then we are not going to be moving forward. Okay? Because y'all know how I like to do, honey. If it ain't for me, then I just gotta let it be. We are about to get into, Porsha's Family Matters, Season 1, Episode 1. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Because, baby, let me tell y'all something. This definitely ain't the Winslows. Do y'all hear me, honey? This is definitely not Laura / Steve Urkel / Stefan Urkel. Do y'all hear me? Now, it is some people looking like Steve Urkel on here, but that's neither here nor there. Let's not y'all. Let's get into it. Porsha. Now, honey, I'm speaking directly to you. I'm not sure what this show was supposed to give. I don't know what it's supposed to showcase, but girl, I mean, you could have went on ahead and stayed on Real Housewives of Atlanta if we were really going to get into it. So when the episode first opens up, we see Porsha and she's telling us, over the last couple of months, my life has been a whirlwind. She said, I got engaged to a man that only has eyes for Porsha. Child, then they cut to Dennis. This man is married to another woman at the same time. If that ain't a player, I don't know what you call it. Ah, touche. Oh my goodness. He not a player. He just crush a lot. Shout out to Big Pun. Baby, when Dennis said that, I said, okay, I see who finna be the star of this show. Child, this is about to be a fool. Moving forward. So Porsha tries to lie to us about this timeline, but peach juice, okay, the dates ain't dating. The dates are not dating. She said when we last saw her, she was ending things for good with Dennis. A couple of months later, she met the man of her dreams, Simon Guobadia. I do not want to continue to hear his full name throughout this season, okay? You can say Simon. It's okay. Well, honey, Simon says, that's a lie. Girl, you already knew Mr. Brown Clara. You already knew him. Porsha really think we're dumb. Let's just say Simon and Fallon were done. Let's just say that was over. Stop acting like you didn't hang with that lady. Go into their home, smoke their hookah, and see how she was being treated and move in when things got rocky. I mean, let's just call a spade, okay? You saw that they were about to get a divorce, and so you said, I like the way things were moving over there. Dennis ain't acting right, child. I want to get a ring back, so Simon Guobadia it is. I mean, come on, let's just be real, child. Let's just be real. She said, things haven't been so perfect for them thanks to social media. Honey, don't blame us. Y'all posted those Three's Company pictures. Honey, we were doing just fine, minding our Mother's Day business. Honey, I had got my one single rose from my son. He was looking at me so lovingly. Happy Mother's Day. Boom. You and this picture show up. Child, I had to do an emergency live and everything. I'll never forget that day. So don't blame it on us, okay? Blame it on you. The optics look awful, as you would say. They really do. So then they were like flashing the comments on the screen. I was thinking, did any of y'all see y'all comments? Because, honey, let me tell you something. I ain't comment because I just couldn't. My mouth was wide open. However, I did give a few of my opinions here online. And I saw the Porsha stands coming from miles around, honey. And let me tell you something. If any of you are watching this show, I mean, even her sister said the man was married. So now what you got to say? Moving forward. She's like, I had no idea the timeline would send people into a frenzy. Lauren said, all I could say was, oh, crap. Lauren is so level-headed. I love Lauren. She really is the most level-headed one. And now they got Londi in the mix, and I really like Londi as well. I feel like Lauren and Londi, someone needs to help Porsha along on her journey to becoming an adult. So Mama Diane said, people were being vicious as if they knew things to be facts. Listen, social media in itself is already a headache. It drains your energy and everything else. You can't give people anything to go off of. So when we see a picture and we have already seen Porsha with this man's ex-wife, and we're knowing that the two of them are not already divorced, as in the papers have not been signed, then of course people are going to have something to say. Now, the people who were doing all those death threats and all that, child, that's just too much, okay? Moving forward. So Simon said, I don't give a care what they think. It's none of their business. Pan to Porsha saying, yeah, he's at the tail end, but some things need to still be taken care of, so he's not quite divorced yet. Back over with Simon. He's like, all we're waiting on, is the judge. Porsha said, they got engaged on a Thursday and thought it would be finalized on a Friday, but Monday came and it still wasn't signed and the picture was already out there. So now people are saying that she's with a married man. Technically you are, sweetheart. Technically you are. I mean, let's just forget him being married for a second. Okay, let's sit that to the side. Let's compartmentalize this. Okay, so let's just take apart the fact that he's about to get divorced. Okay, you don't want to put your life on pause while you're waiting for the judge to sign off on your final divorce decree. Okay, so he's still married. It's no other man that you could have gotten under to get over Dennis. Like, you knew his wife. You've been in their home. I think that's the part that's shocking people. It's not the fact that she has a new man, because if Simon was unattached to anybody that we knew, if Simon was attached to a woman that was faceless, and when I say faceless, meaning we don't know her, we've never seen her, and Porsha just popped up on the scene, we would be like, I know that's right, Porsha, because Dennis cheated on you, girl. You better get you a new man. It would have been fine. The fact of the matter is you came with your big fine self in your bathing suit over to this woman's house, started talking about WAP, opening your legs up, and I knew something was wrong with Simon then when he was sitting in that background watching y'all in that pool. He was scouting his next wife. Child, y'all ain't fooling me. Moving forward. That is what's making everybody upset. Just so we're clear. She said, they don't know what's true, but I know what's true. So then we see Dennis. There's something wrong with Dennis. Dennis is like, was Porsha knowingly stealing a woman's husband? I mean, Lauren said, absolutely not. Well, child, we don't know. Moving forward. In the next scene, we see Porsha and Simon. They riding around Buckhead looking for houses. Child, Porsha gonna look for a house with a man if she don't do nothing else. Y'all remember Duke? Honey, she looked for a house with Duke. She didn't even play that with Dennis. She was like, Dennis, you will move into my place. That's that on that. So Porsha tells us that she's engaged to Simon and he is everything. Girl, that's the same thing you said about Dennis. They all start out as everything. Todd, Duke, Oliver, Dennis. I love that Porsha loves love. Okay, I love it. I love that she loves love. But baby girl, slow down, low down. Like, where's the fire? Like, Simon just wants to be famous. I don't trust him at all. Okay, the way he was moving and the things that were happening, I don't think the family really likes him too tough either. If you have not watched this episode, please go watch it. It's a little bit interesting. You might want to see the way Mama Diane and Lauren interact with Dennis versus Simon. Honey, they ain't feeling Simon. This is a plot and a scheme that Todd set up to come at us with the bush. Shout out to Todd. Moving forward. So he tells us that he's an entrepreneur, a restaurateur. So they show Porsha saying that they met because he DM'd her. Please stop saying that. Y'all didn't meet. Y'all got more acquainted. Y'all had already met, okay? I know it's semantics, but y'all, look, you didn't meet him in no DM. Then she's like, well, y'all tell me if he says anything else. So then they show Simon, and Simon says she DM'd about his divorce, saying she was sorry to hear that. Girl, not your condolences. Child, it was going down in a DM. Do y'all hear me? Girl, so you saw that there was a job opening and basically wanted to fill the vacancy. Got it. Child, it's not even 5 minutes into the show and the discrepancies are already starting. And I thought Shamila put y'all together. I thought that's what happened. I know I heard that Shamia introduced them. I know I'm not crazy. Child, you don't even know how you got with this man. This is a mess. Moving forward. He's like, I appreciated the DM and it was on from there. I'm sure you did appreciate the DM because, honey, you was watching her when she was swimming around that pool with your wife. Child, anywho, I digress. So as they're riding, they're talking about how many cars he has. And she says, well, what about when the kids get older? Because he was saying he had 5 cars. He said, oh, well, if they're old enough to get a car, then they're old enough to get their own place. She said, because Pilar ain't going nowhere. See, I can already see his controlling nature. I can already see it, honey. I already know how they do. Porsha, didn't we already have a controlling man? Did you not learn anything from Cordell? Like anything. You are repeating history. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I want you to sit and watch your episodes and reference them back to season 5 of you being introduced to us on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. You are giving up your home. You're going into a space. It's probably going to be only in his name. Then on top of that, he's already controlling the narrative. Girl, you can go back over there and get back with Cordell 2.0 if you want to. Child, you're going to be crying and back over here on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Child, this is, this is going to be a mess. So they get to this house, right, for a tour. is 6,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms. And Porsha said, well, we have 6 kids. And child, no comment. No comment, honey. No comment. So they sit down to discuss the house, right? So Simon tells us that he has 5 kids and this will be his 4th marriage. Ugh. Porsha, what are you doing? Child, this is so cringy. As I watched the two of them together, it's a cringe fest. Like, I see absolutely no chemistry. Just him and his confessionals talking about all his red flags. So then in her confessional, Porsha said, nobody has ever gotten me to move to Atlanta because my home in Duluth was a sign of my independence. Yes, and you're about to give that up. She said she feels like she's losing a piece of Porsha. You are. Now, you don't even notice me. Okay, regardless of whatever timeline y'all got going on, honey, y'all want us to believe, child, the math ain't mathing. Child, please. Anywho, you don't know him. Like, this is not the move. But truth be told, honey, she gonna be right back over there with Dennis. Simon is a placeholder. This is just my opinion, honey, because this is definitely not real. And when I say it's not real, they may be in a real relationship. But what I mean is her feelings for him are not real. Everything about this episode was all things Dennis. And we're gonna get into that as we get into it. Moving forward. She's like, well, I'm turning 40, so I'm ready to settle down, not turn up. Girl, you gonna pick him? Okay. So she said, you're not comfortable at my house. Why is that? Because they sitting down talking, right? Now, Porsha, come on. Dennis the Menace lived in that house. So he's not going to be comfortable there. He said the same reason you ain't comfortable at my house. Flashback to her at his house. Ooh, child, baby production is shady, honey. This is some shady business. Do you hear me? In the next scene, the Bentley pulls up and it's Dennis coming to get baby Pilar. She was so cute. The way she ran to that door, she was like, Daddy, Daddy. I was like, oh, she loved her daddy. Child, she knew exactly who it was. Do y'all hear me? And she ran to that door looking just as cute with a little dress on. And when I was watching this, all I could think of was Porsha when she was small. Now, I didn't know Porsha when she was small, but I would imagine that's how she was when it came to her dad. Because remember, she was saying that she was a daddy's girl. And what I really think is happening, honey, if we want to get psychological up and through, I think Porsha has daddy issues, and that's why she's rushing into these relationships, because she's trying to feel that love that she had with her dad. And with his death, she probably didn't get the proper grief counseling, and now she's just jumping from man to man. Girl, somebody needs to talk to her about that. Instead of just walking around saying, we're so happy she's happy. That's not true happiness. That is a temporary high. You know how you feel a little down, you eat some comfort food, and you feel a little better. You go back to text that toxic ex, and he's doing okay at the moment, and you're doing okay at the moment, so you feel a little better. You go buy a brand new pair of shoes, so you feel a little better. But then when you get home, and it's time to go to sleep, late at night when all the world, okay, shout out to Selena, and you're sitting down by yourself, getting ready to close your eyes, you still feel bad. You still feel empty. And that is exactly what's happening with Porsha. Child, I hated to take it there, but somebody got to say it, child. So, Porsha, if you watching these reviews, honey, please go get the correct therapy. Now, I don't know this therapist that y'all been talking to, honey, the same therapist all up and through Atlanta, but we're going to have to find somebody new. Call, what's his name down there in Huntsville? Go down there to Huntsville and get Dr. Francis. That's his name. Go get Dr. Francis and bring him down to the ATL and allow him to help Porsha, because this right here is a fool. So Dennis comes on in the house, and Mama Diane said, well, her and Dennis gonna always be family because of Pilar. So she don't have no problem with Dennis. Child, Dennis came in and sat down. He was like, so where Porsha at? What island she on? Her mama said, well, they went to go look for houses. Dennis said, oh, okay. Mama Diane said, mm-hmm. Ma'am, help your daughter. Tell your daughter tell her moving her daughter in with this familiar stranger is not the move. She does not know this man. Child, I know Dennis was feeling like crap. Like, dang, I couldn't get her to move for me. Your money wasn't long enough. The money is the motive. Shout out to Lil Wayne. Like, child, your money ain't money, and like his money is money, and okay. Dennis said, Porsha moves fast. This is what he said in his confessional. He's like, we broke up. Child, we about to get the timeline. We broke up in July 2020. Then she bought us matching pajamas in December of 2020. She asked for her ring back in December, but it was too much that we didn't work out yet, so I wasn't going to be able to do it. Look, I wouldn't want to deal with Dennis because, sir, you cheated on me during my pregnancy, and you keep taking back my ring every time you get mad. Like, if the ring needs to go back from the loan, then just say that. Like, because this is getting ridiculous. You gave it back to her in Canada, then you took it back again? That is so tacky and so childish. Quiet as it's kept, neither one of them are a great catch. I mean, if we really just want to be real. But something about Simon just don't sit right in my spirit. It just don't sit right in my spirit. He said the next thing he knew, she was engaged. Well, honey, piece or get off the pot is basically what Porsha saying. Moving forward. Oh, with Porsha and Simon, Porsha is saying, I feel like I need to talk to Dennis about moving in. Yes, especially since this man will be around his daughter. You definitely need to have a conversation. So then she said, I told him he'd come to the party, but he can't bring a date. Child, this is a fool. Why can't he bring a date? Porsha, why? If I was Simon, I would be like, why you worried about who he going on a date with? Like, why are you worried about that? Child, this show is a mess. This is a mess. Oh, child, it's a mess, and I'm here for every bit of it. Do y'all hear me? She's like, yeah, when I texted him and he couldn't bring a date, he didn't like that. Back over with Dennis and her mama, she is like, oh, are you coming to the birthday party? He said, no, I can't bring a date. Child, not Porsha keeping Dennis on ice in case she needs to thaw him out when things don't work out with Simon, because that's exactly what she's doing. He said in his confessional, I think it's fair since Porsha is engaged, I should be able to bring a date. Baby, I don't know what Porsha doing to these men, but baby, she gonna secure a ring if she don't do nothing else. She might need to teach a class how to get a ring in 2 weeks. Because baby, Porsha gonna secure a diamond, and they always big. Do you hear me? So she was like, if it's somebody that he wants to bring around my daughter, then bring the heifer. But if not, then no. So Dennis was basically like, look, Porsha cannot take her own medicine, because if she see me with a girl, she gonna be pissed, honey. Straight facts. Facts on facts on facts, facts. Moving forward. So Mama Diane gonna say, I can't believe old girl told you can't bring no date. Not old girl. Baby, Mama Diane hood. Not old girl. Child, I holler when I heard that. But this is what I see. I get the feeling that Mama Diane wants Dennis rather than Simon. So Simon is over there telling Porsha that he should get a +1. She's like, well, maybe I'm blinded by something. Well, child, that's an understatement. But we talking about Dennis bringing a date. And he said, yeah, you're blinded by your history. She's like, what do you mean? Now, I'm thinking what she thinking. Okay, and probably what all of y'all are thinking. That because of their history, she doesn't want to see him with another woman. This man gonna say, it sounds like it's a part of him you don't trust. Simon, you totally missed the mark. That's what you got from that? Child, no wonder Fallon was allegedly cheating on you. Sir, you sit in the dark. Child, she still loves Dennis. That's why he cannot bring a date. Oh, Simon, honey, keep up. Moving forward. It's the day of Porsha's 40th birthday. And, they're turning up in the restroom. So Porsha is talking about how she's going to be 40. And she's like, I'm entering into a brand new number age. Girl, what? I'm entering into a brand new number age. Every year is a brand new number. Girl, every year is a new number. But then again, you thought it was 245 days in a year or 265, child, whatever. But 40 is a milestone year. I can say that, and I cannot wait for mine. Well, I can wait for mine because, child, I really don't want to leave my 30s. But, honey, I'm still going to party like it's 1999. Do y'all hear me? So they asked her if she's ready to step out with Simon. She's like, well, people know our love story, but social media is like real brutal right now. So she said, it's hurtful for her to hear those things, knowing the truth. But tonight is kind of like their coming out party. So Lauren shows up at the event space, right? She has their cousin Londi there to help her with like the creative side. And Simon's job is to pay for it. And I'm like, he really ain't paying for nothing because, he owned the club. Back at Porsha's house, her assistant is like telling her about the post that Simon made. She's like, Simon Guabadia. Girl, are we going to have to hear his full government name every episode? I hope not, or else I'm not going to be able to continue. Okay? So he posted some personal pictures of them. Child, when they saw them pictures, her mama was looking pissed. Do y'all hear me? Those pictures are what really show the huge discrepancies in their timeline. That's what it really is. Because, honey, it was a whole expose on that. She said she liked the caption, but not the pictures, because those pictures were supposed to be private. You might as well put it all out there now. We already know. Child, Porsha don't want that man. Honey, I said what I said, and I ain't changing it. Back at the club, Lauren is telling Londi that Simon seems like an even keel guy, but when he posts those pictures, it perpetuates the hate. He doesn't care. Simon will do anything for clout. Shout out to Cardi B. Like, he'll do anything. He likes the attention that he gets. He's an attention seeker. She was in shock when she saw that Mother's Day picture. She said, my first thought was she's the greatest of all time because, women dream of blending their family that quickly. No, 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 ma'am. Honey, I'm not bringing any old man around my kid. I don't dream of finding a man and in 2 weeks introducing him to my kid and moving us in together. I'm sorry. I don't dream of that. Pilar is the most important in all of this. Honey, this is too much. So she's like, my second thought was when everybody finds this out, she's going to suffer for it. Honey, Ann did. So Londi said, the trait of a man to immediately go to social media, that's interesting. Londi, when I tell you she is the voice of reason, it's beyond interesting, honey, and he ain't fooling her. I like you, Londi, honey. They should have brought you on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha keeping you for our own show. Moving forward. So Simon shows up, right? And Lauren is like, oh, it's kind of awkward being around Simon without Porsha because the only time I really interacted with him is when it's Porsha or when it's our entire family. So then the producer asked if anything surprised her about the relationship. She said, he's married. That surprised me. Child, it surprised all of us too. So y'all Porsha stands, her family felt just like all of us, honey, because I know how y'all like to tussle. Child, I don't want no fighting down in the comments. He's like, well, I dropped off her gifts. I know my girl. I know what she likes. Yes, she likes money and nice things, honey. We all know that. Boy, moving forward. Lauren said, well, we appreciate you making her happy. Poor Lauren. Honey, she said that to every man Porsha meet. We appreciate you making her happy. Hey, we appreciate you making her happy. Child, this is a fool. Back at the house, Mama Diane goes to check on Porsha, right? And she's feeling kind of down because of the post. And she's like, people don't understand our relationship. I mean, the judge hasn't signed off on the paperwork, so they're really coming down hard on us. Yes, it's called moral fiber. Like when you have some, you get a little offended when you're dating someone else's husband, okay? As you said, the optics, they don't look great. Child, y'all should have stayed private till things were finalized. You knew what you were doing with that picture. You have been in the media long enough, in the public eye long enough with Real Housewives of Atlanta to know how these things go. So Porsha said, I talked to him and he really just didn't care. He is only thinking about himself. That's why. That's the sign of a selfish man. Honey, he is not stupid. He posted those pictures because he wanted a reaction, because he's thirsty for attention. She said, I have anxiety over this. Porsha, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Is his little bit of change worth your peace? Are you going to constantly be upset every time you go somewhere? So Mama Diane said, well, he doesn't see the wrong in what he's doing because he thinks he's letting the truth out. She said, you don't want to get to the point where you resent him. I mean, I know your heart. I know you're happy. She's happy every few months, Mom. Listen, I hate she is sad on her 40th birthday. I really do. But Porsha gets engaged every few months. It's too soon to be bringing this man around your daughter. It's too soon to be engaged to this man. If you want to date him, then date him. If you're this upset already, clearly this relationship ain't right. Okay? If you got to be crying all the time and it just started, something ain't right about it. So her mama offered not a lick of sound advice. So child, we can just move on from that. So in the next scene, Porsha is trying on dresses for her party and she picks one. Then they get on the party bus. Simon shows up. She's like, oh, you look like a black angel. Child, looking like a demon in white if you ask me. Moving forward. So they're riding on the bus, right? And something falls from the ceiling. They're like, oh my gosh, it almost hit me. That's a lawsuit. Here go Porsha. This is Dennis's bus. Girl, come again. Not this is Dennis's bus. So the producer said, so Dennis can donate a bus, but he can't bring a date. She said, child, he can bring a date if she built like a bus. Porsha, you are not over that man. So they get to the club for the party, right? It's all people there that love and support her, honey, as it should be. And in pops Drew in her Versace shirt. Hey, Drew, the hair's cute and whatnot, but it's the hypocrisy for me. Because LaToya was a Jezebel with a Delilah spirit when she was trying to talk to that pastor or whatever you had going on. But it's okay for Porsha. Girl gone. So she came in with a little Fendi bag for Porsha. And Porsha, honey, you may want to check into that bag and make sure it's not a cassette tape in there. Because, child, you know how Drew like to do. Baby, she been and pulled out something that ain't got nothing to do with Fendi, honey. Drew kind of cheap. So Simon comes over, right? And Drew is like, nice to meet you. So here go Porsha. Y'all never met? Drew said, well, not officially. I did see you in your home. She's like, well, I don't need to know anything about what's going on. It's not my business. I'm just happy that she's happy. He's like, it's okay. One day it'll all make sense. Okay, sir. Moving forward. They go outside to talk about this post. And he was like, I was just playing. I didn't mean to do that. She said, you didn't mean to do what? He said, it's your birthday. My feelings shouldn't be censored. It's her birthday, sir. Her, not yours. She doesn't want that. So you should be doing what she wants because it's her birthday. Child, so she's trying to explain to him that it's their private stuff. He's like, well, you said you tattooed my name, but you never showed it. So that should tell you something right there. Okay? She must be ashamed of you and it. That should tell you something, honey. She didn't want nobody to know that. So basically, she wants to be consulted when he posts something so that she can control the narrative. Moving forward. The next day, they go for lunch, child, because it's like a daytime date. So she made some silly type of joke. And she's like, I just love my fiance. He lets Porsha be Porsha. And I love him for that because I did have men who used to try to change me. When she was saying this, I was thinking to myself, Dennis let you be yourself too. So did Todd. The only idiot that you had is Cordell. And this is the same type of man. But girl, go and set yourself off. So they started talking about their families merging, right? He said his granddad had 25 wives. And his dad had 2. Now they trying to catch up to the granddaddy and already done surpassed his daddy. Oh, child. Okay. He said, well, where I'm from, it's normal to have different women. In his country, the wives tell their husbands that they can have side bitches. And from time to time, the wife and the side bitches get together. Okay, Simon, I am uncomfortable with how comfortable you are calling these women bitches. Okay? I'm uncomfortable with that. Furthermore, Porsha, while you over there eating, you better pay attention. He's letting you know, honey, if you find out he cheating, don't be shocked. Honey, it's a cultural thing. Child trying to tell you something on the slick. Anywho, she said, well, I don't approve of that. She's like, well, have you ever cheated? He said, yeah, I've cheated multiple times, but it didn't happen in my last relationship. That was my turning point. Well, according to you, Fallon was giving you exactly what your culture likes to do, honey. I'm just saying. Moving forward. Now, Simon is telling Porsha that he never got love from his dad, right? This is what he's telling her. This girl gonna say, See, that's what drives Dennis. Girl, why are you bringing up Dennis? Your financier is telling you that he's never gotten love from his dad. Child, this is embarrassing. Simon, she's just not that into you. Honey, I hope you're checking out these reviews. She said, he wasn't close to his dad either, so he really wanted to break the cycle with Pilar, which I found so attractive. Okay, I am convinced that Dennis and Porsha are still a couple, and Simon and Porsha entered into an agreement to do this show so he could garner attention, because ain't no way. Ain't no way, boy. It ain't no way. You cannot make me believe this man is this oblivious. Child, this is crazy. Moving forward. She said, I really feel like you and him need to have a conversation. He said, I'll let him take me in small doses. So in his confessional, he was like, if it wasn't for Porsha, Dennis would not be the kind of man that I would hang out with. I wouldn't even know what to talk to him about. Why? Y'all are both businessmen, right? You would probably talk to him about business. Like, you're going to have to respect Pilar's dad if you want to be a part of her life because she loves her dad. Child, that was rude as hell. I'm like, don't try to act like you so upper echelon, honey. Riding around in Atlanta flashing your money so people can even talk to you. Boy, goodbye. In the next scene, Londi comes over to Porsha's house because they're having a cookout at her house the next day, right? And I really like Londi. She is a great addition to all things Porsha. So they go outside to talk and they sit down and she's like, well, have you heard Dennis been hitting Lauren up? She's like, about what? She said, I don't know. He just been hitting her up. Porsha didn't know that little tidbit of information, honey. I guess they still cool. But, I thought Lauren didn't really like him too tough after he cheated. I don't know what's going on, honey. I'm confused. Anywho, let's just continue. Back on the other side, Lauren goes to see the hot dog man at the factory. Okay, listen to me, y'all. Those hot dogs are good as hell. I got to give it to him. I went to the one in Houston, and I don't blame Lauren. I'll be down there to get me a Chicago dog as well. Them hot dogs are good. Dennis said, Lauren is his little sister no matter what they go through. Child, Dennis got to keep up with Lauren for the dirt. Okay, that's how you going to get the tea. So they sit down, and he started asking about Porsha. He's like, I see Porsha been jet setting. I saw you on a few trips too. She said, yeah, I was at the engagement. He said, you think that's cool? She said, what's your issue with that? Is it because the papers weren't signed off on because they were signed months ago? He said, look, if she's happy, I'm happy. We got a kid together, so it's in my best interest for me to support the relationship. Back over at Porsha's house, we're getting a totally different story. She's telling Londi that Dennis is the #1 advocate and supporter of her and Simon. Child, it don't seem like it. Londi said, oh, okay, so you don't think there's any hidden ego? She's like, well, he did comment on a post, but then Simon put #mine. Is he sure? Honey, is she really yours? Child, I'm just saying. Moving forward. Back on the other side of the hot dog factory, Lauren said, you wrote on her post. He was like, well, that cake was caking. Typical man, okay? Typical man. Well, honey, it was a thirst trap picture. So I'm just saying, honey, he had to comment on it. Dennis is innocent, okay? He innocent. So Londi is over there asking Porsha back at the house if Dennis knew about the engagement. Porsha said, yeah, Dennis knew about Simon and he knew about the engagement. On the other side, Dennis is telling a totally different story. Child, this is good to me. Do y'all hear me? He's like, Porsha called and told me that she was engaged, but she told me they were dating just 2 weeks before that, so they got engaged in 2 weeks. Yes, Dennis, honey, ask the burning questions. Lauren said, yep. Lauren said they got engaged, right at 2 weeks. Back at the house, Londi asked Porsha, when did they get engaged? She was like, right at a month. Okay, so I was like, okay, well, maybe she kept the first 2 weeks private because she didn't want them to know. Honey, I don't know. It's done now. As tacky as it is, they're engaged. Child, we really don't care. We just want to see what's going to go on and really get the tea and the dirt because the producers are really going all in. Okay, it's a lot of Phaedra math being done. Moving forward. Back at the hot dog factory, Dennis is like, it ain't the money, is it? Lauren was like, no, she has her own money. Why can't she just like him? Girl, because she don't just like him. Come on, let's be real. That woman do not like that man. Dennis said, I'm not saying it's the money. I just know, we wouldn't have had a baby together if I didn't have no money. Honey, and these are the facts. At least you know, honey, because she said it herself on The Real Housewives of Atlanta when she found out how many businesses you had, them legs just went open. Okay? Dennis said the math ain't mathing. It looked like she took somebody man. Lauren said, I agree. Yes, and to all of us out here in TV land, it looks like you stole someone's man. He said, I don't know what the real story is, but it's looking like she's the man stealer of the century. He's like, she might go down the Hall of Fame for this one. Child, not the Home Record Hall of Fame. He said, you should have stepped in. She said, if you would have told me that you wanted me to be more involved, then I would have stepped in. She said, I did, but she didn't listen to me. Back over at the house, Londi is telling her, she was like, look, Mother's Day was kind of awkward. Dennis was so excited. Porsha said, look, if he knew about the engagement prior to the planning, he probably would have canceled it. Dennis is over there telling Lauren, she told me she was engaged, and then the next day we had a Mother's Day dinner. I couldn't even cancel it. Porsha said there was her old life on one side and her new life on the other side, so she just agreed to take a picture. All of them said, yeah, let's do it. Lauren said, well, you taking that picture made me feel like you approved of it. Dennis said it was all Porsha's idea. He said, I didn't think the picture was going to break the internet, but it broke it. Busted wide open. Do you hear me? Busted wide open. He said, I didn't think it was real until I saw that tattoo. And that's ridiculous, too. Well, honey, ain't that the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot, calling the kettle? You got all them women tattooed all over you, and she ain't say nothing about that. Lauren was like, I really feel like he's upset because that was kind of their thing, and now she's doing it with Simon, and then it's in the same exact place, so it's kind of like she's pitting them against each other. Child, Porsha is controlling these bald men. Do you hear me, honey? She got one on one side and one on the other. So he was like, y'all out there looking crazy. They all looking nuts. She said, well, we looking crazy, but are you coming to the cookout? He said, no, I can't bring no date. She said, why? Why do you think you can't bring no date? He said, because she still loves me, honey, and does. She said, oh, that was a statement. He said, I still love her too. Meanwhile, she's back at her house telling Londi, I don't have any romantic feelings for Dennis. I don't like him like that. I love him because he's Pilar's father, but that is where that ends. Her cousin was like, you know what? I think they're both delusional about their feelings for each other. So Dennis said, if this don't work out, she gonna be devastated. Because Lauren was like, well, how do you feel? He said, this ain't about me. If this does not work out for Porsha, she's going to be so upset. I'm going to be around for the next 16 years regardless. But, we'll see how it goes. Honey, Dennis knows she's not going to marry that man. And if she does marry that man, it's going to be for 1 year. Then the two of them are going to get back together. And then they're going to make one big happy family and have some more babies. Well, Porsha don't wait too long, honey, because we are already 14 years old. And that was the end of episode 1. Ooh, child, they crammed everything into that episode. Do you hear me? All of our questions, I feel like they were trying to answer them in episode 1, and it was good to me. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. What I think is Porsha does not like Simon. I think that this is a business arrangement, allegedly. I think that she still loves Dennis. Dennis still loves her, and Pilar loves her daddy. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.